Six Nations, week number 4, the team of the week. Definitely the hardest week to pick easily. So tough. I've even made a list of honourable mentions, which I've tried to keep short. Because the performances this week, you had 2 really close games in England and France, and you had a pretty slick Wales side doing a job of Italy. So there's no Italian players in this team, but everyone else was represented because, yeah, there were some seriously good shifts all around the teams. Start with some front rowers. Loose head was a pretty tricky one. I ended up going with Rory Sutherland in a losing Scottish effort. They certainly didn't get on top at scrum time, but remember both of these sides going into this game, Ireland and Scotland had 2 of the kind of, statistically anyway, best scrums. And neither really got on top of the other. So despite the fact that they had no Xander Ferguson, so if anything they might have been a bit depowered, I know both sides each gave away 1 at scrum time, so it kind of evened out. So I thought in terms of the scrummaging, a good shift, played 66 minutes, 3 runs from him for 16 run meters is a bit of a good return. He did give up 2 turnovers conceded. I can't remember if he was stripped in a tackle or was he one of the maul turnovers when they held him up. Either way, decent return in terms of his run meters, but the 2 turnovers conceded is a little bit concerning. What is really nice is he didn't pass it. He's a prop, doesn't do passing, traditional, and 16 from 16 tackles, including 1 dominant tackle. That is a proper shift from him. Hooker was a slightly easier one to choose, although that being said, there were some good shows around, not just the Sheriff. But Ken Owens gets himself 2 tries. If you had a few bob on that, you would have made a little bit of money, I would imagine. 2 tries, he has 9 carries, 37 run meters, so he's very busy. 9 carries is getting into the thick of things. 2 passes, a kick, which was worth 11 kick meters. You know something's wrong when he's getting kick meters. 9 from 11 tackles, so he does miss 2, but he's got 1 dominant. The line-out operates at 100%. He does have 1 handling error, but overall, 2 tries from the Sheriff. Happy days. Tight head. Now, maybe I could have gone with Kyle Sinclair, but after those steps, how could I go with anyone but Tyke Furlong? And it wasn't just his silky skills to break 2 tackles. You know, he glided past Finn Russell in this game. He played 55 minutes. He has 7 carries for 30 run meters. He breaks 2 tackles, has 2 passes, 9 from 11 tackles for him. He does concede 1 penalty, but he also wins 1 turnover, so it kind of evens up. Solid shift from him. Come British and Irish Lions time, he's going to be on the plane if they get on a plane to go anywhere. Lock it in. Absolutely lock it in. Now for locks, speaking of locking it in, I've kind of cheated. It's the one position I tend to cheat a little bit. I try to keep the positions, at least for this tournament, strict to their jersey number as much as I can. But I've picked 2 guys who play in the number 4 jersey. But I'm going to sneak one into number 5. Your first guy from England is going to be Maro Itoje. Now, he was much criticised after all the penalties conceded in the previous game. Excuse me, this pen's running out of ink. I'm looking for the other one. But yeah, he kept it much cleaner in this game, didn't he? Got the message and put in a pretty good shift. He has 80 minutes played. He has a try, which I called a little bit controversial in my review, mainly because the referee said he didn't give it a try on the field, and the video evidence has to be like daylight conclusive. People tell me it was daylight conclusive. I'm on a tiny TV here, people. I've just moved house. The TV's like this big. Give me time. I'll get a bigger telly. So he gets a try, which is crucial in the scheme of that match. 3 carries for 17 run meters. He's not usually a huge ball carrier as old Maro, but he has a pass. He has 10 from 11 tackles, including 2 dominant. He is one of the better dominant tacklers in World Rugby, and he also manages 2 line-out steals as well. So a proper shift from Maro Itoje in terms of his Lions form. Maybe back on what we expected. I've also gone with another man who I hope gets on the tour, Ian Henderson. His locking partner had a pretty good shift as well, but I've gone with Ian Henderson. Proper shift. Like, look at these numbers. He has 80 minutes played, has 7 carries for 33 run meters, which is relatively busy. Not the busiest, but that's a good shift from a lock. 3 passes, 21 out of 21 tackles. He has 2 turnovers, 1, and gets 1 line-out steal. The Irish locks were giving the Scottish line-out all kinds of trouble, and Ian Henderson was definitely a big part of that shift. All right, other loosies, onto the loosies, I should say. Blindside. Now, this was a tough one because you had 2 blindsides who both got man of the match in Tyg Byrne and Josh Navidi. I have gone with Navidi. I think every other week I've picked Tyg Byrne for my team of the week, so I'm going to give him a break this time, but he's definitely the most honourable of honourable mentions. He's in Lions form as well, but so is Josh Navidi. 80 minutes played. He has a try assist. He has 7 carries, 26 run meters, 6 passes, and offload. 23 out of 24 tackles, including 1 dominant one. He does have 1 handling error. He does have 1 penalty conceded. But man, don't Wales just look better when he's playing? You could say the same with Tyg Byrne as well. I think since he's moved to 6, and you've got James Ryan and Ian Henderson, that's the best looking Irish trio in terms of those positions. But Josh Navidi makes Wales a better team. That back row with Tipuric and Faletau and himself are also very handy. Now, number 7, I've gone with Hamish Watson from Scotland. People are going to cry out for Curry. Everyone loves Curry, but I've gone with Watson. 80 minutes played. He has 1 try, which was, again, pretty crucial in getting his team back in the game, even if they didn't get the result. He has 12 carries for 65 run meters. Now, I think Curry did beat him by 5 run meters. 4 passes, 2 broken tackles, 15 out of 15 tackles, including 2 dominant, and wins a turnover. I think Curry has 4 tackles made, 4 tackles missed. You got to go Watson. Curry was everywhere, but Watson, likewise. Very, very good shift. Both good players, but I've gone with the Watson. Right, number 8. Number 8, I have gone with another Irishman. I did change this around a couple of times, but I've settled on CJ Stander in his 50th game for Ireland. Just a huge shift from him. He just does what he always does in terms of getting his head down. 80 minutes played, 17 carries. Is that more carries than anybody else who I've picked this week? I dare say it probably is by quite some way. Hamish Watson had 12. Or Sutherland had 3. He likes the ball. Don't take the ball away from him. 83 run meters. He's a workhorse. 5 passes, an offload, 10 from 11 tackles. He's credited with the line-out steal, which Scotland just kind of threw straight down his throat. He does have 1 handling error, but yeah, CJ. CJ's a proper unit as well. Love CJ. Very good player. Now, into the backs. 9 was one of the hardest ones. Very hard. Do you go Ben Youngs? Moments he was good, sometimes he was a wee bit slow. Took that 1 run on his own when nothing was on. Price conceded a couple of pretty costly penalties for Scotland. I didn't think Gareth Davis exactly set the world on fire in what was a pretty exceptional looking Wales performance. I don't think Varney was up there. Jamison Gibson-Parks maybe the other guy, but I'm trying not to go like fanboy mode on this guy, but even when he's not at his best, he still seems pretty good. He's a proper difference maker. I mean, definitely not his perfect game. Like, if you're looking at his errors, 3 handling errors, 2 turnovers conceded, and misses 3 tackles. But despite all that, he plays 80 minutes. He gets a try. From 7 runs, he gets 28 run meters. He gets 235 kick meters, which is substantial. He breaks 3 tackles. He has 48 passes and an offload. He's just integral to what France are doing. Serran doesn't even get on. I mean, neither does Conor Murray. So Gibson Park, give him some credit as well. I'm a bit of a critic of his. And I don't want to go fanboy mode on Dupont because he is very, very good. But best of the week for me. Let me know what you guys reckon. Number 10, as we move things along. Number 10, another guy who gets a wee bit of stick. Pretty controlled performance from the veteran. Been known to give him a bit of stick as well, to be fair, because I don't know, the situation with who's the 10 and then who's the next 10 after this guy is still one that remains to be answered. But Johnny Sexton, he wants to keep playing, and if he plays like that, why not? He has 80 minutes played, 3 runs, 25 run meters, 186 kick meters. He breaks a tackle, he has 24 passes, so his involvements are huge. He has an offload, 7 from 8 tackles, 2 turnovers conceded as a black mark, 2 handling errors as a black mark, but key point, his goal kick against slots that penalty. His 1 conversion hit the post, but everything else pretty much goes over. And that penalty at the end, pressure kick, no pressure for Johnny. He has it down pat. Now, left wing was the last position I picked. I wanted to pick 2 right wingers like I did with the kind of the locks 4 and 5, but I stuck to my guns and I went left wing. I think the right wingers outclassed the left wingers this week, but left wing I've gone again, kind of by default again with Josh Adams. Now, he's not had a bad game. I just think like the right wingers generally were more electric this week. He plays 80 minutes, scores a try. He has 9 carries for 101 run meters. He has 3 broken tackles. He has 5 passes. So his involvements are pretty big, man. He messes up that 1 try, which again, on my little TV, I was like, that's a try. But anyway, apparently it's not. He has an offload, 3 from 5 tackles. 1 of them's dominant. 3 turnovers conceded is kind of the biggest black mark of all, along with the try that didn't get given. But yeah, Monty Ioane also, if you're going to mention one of the Italian guys. But yeah, gone with Josh Adams. Number 12. Everybody's favourite player. I've gone with Owen Farrell. Kind of like Johnny Sexton. Cops a bit of stick for a different reason. Sexton's because he's getting on and people think he's not up to it anymore. But with Farrell, people just don't like Farrell, probably because he's English. And he's a pretty good player. A bit of a captain's knock in this performance from him. 80 minutes played. He kicks the 2 conversions. He has 3 penalty goals. Key in that performance. He has 6 runs for 36 meters, which is a pretty solid return. He breaks a tackle. He only kicks for 36 meters, so he's not really putting leather to leather, boot to leather in terms of the kick meters, but 18 passes, so his involvements in that lineup are huge. Remember, with him at 12, you're playing that dual playmakers thing anyway. He has 3 offloads and 11 from 13 tackles. I'll do some other honourable mentions as well, because there were a lot of good 12s this week, but Farrell is the guy. 13, man, I'm picking a lot of guys who, in recent times, copped a bit of stick. People have been saying George North should retire. George North doesn't belong in the Wales squad, but the attitude towards this Wales squad in recent times has probably shifted a wee bit. He only plays 45 minutes, and yet he gets a try, and boy does he put the hammer down for that try. Proper thing of beauty. The guy's still got some absolute wheels. 10 runs, 122 run meters, 3 broken tackles, 3 passes, an offload, 4 from 4 tackles, makes 1 handling error. Imagine what he does if he plays the 80, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. I was going to say gentlemen and gentlemen. 95% of you guys, but ladies as well. George North. Bit of a renaissance for him in the mid. Now, right wing. Right wing was a very competitive one, as I mentioned. But I have gone with Anthony Watson. Speaking of guys who will be putting their hands up for a Lions berth. 80 minutes played. He scores a try. He just looks dangerous, man, for the majority of this game. Looks very, very slick. Maybe a little off the pace for like the first few minutes when France were all over things. But 1 try, 8 runs, 76 meters, has 38 kick meters, breaks 4 tackles, which I think is second best effort this week. Has 2 passes. If you're looking at his tackle count, it's 4 from 7, which is not the best. But he gets man of the match. Solid effort. Solid effort indeed. And lastly, fullback. Fullback was a tough one. I should have just picked 3 right wingers really, but I've gone with a Frenchman. I've gone with Brice Dulin. He has 80 minutes played. He's not as flashy as like a Teddy Toma on the wing, but 80 minutes played, 11 carries for 79 run meters, still breaks 2 tackles, has 12 passes, so his involvements are also quite big. Like, he's not just the traditional just hoof it up the field fullback. He loves to bring the ball to the line and try to create space for others. An offload, 6 from 6 tackles for a fullback is absolutely amazing. 224 kick meters, so he can hoof it when he needs to. He does have 2 turnovers conceded if you're looking for your black mark. But, yes, that's the 15. Honourable mentions, and this is not an exhaustive list. I could be here all day because, as I mentioned, I've already gone 15 minutes, but there were a heap of good performances this weekend. If you're going for an Italian, I think Negri and Lamaro, maybe Lamaro, was it Maya? The Lucies in general for the Italians got through a lot of work, but still tough day at the office for them. Hogg, he gets the ball off his face and still manages to get a try assist. He's worthy of a mention. Henshaw at inside centre for Ireland. He missed 3 tackles, which was the equal top for the Irish team, more than James Lowe, but overall, Henshaw put in a bloody good shift. Will Connors made 14 from 15. That guy's busy. I'm so pleased to see him getting some proper minutes. Willems for France has 18 out of 20 tackles. His work rate is still phenomenal. Jalibert, I think, is the top guy for broken tackles this week with 5. Tom Curry, as I mentioned, 70 run meters, which is massive, but 4 from 8 tackles. Watson's numbers are better there. Reece Zammit has 157 run meters, 5 out of 8 tackles for him. If you're looking for wingers, the wingers tackle stats are never that much to write home about. Tipperick, though, 19 from 19. Tyke Byrne, the ultimate snub, should be here. Just make the whole team Navidi and Byrne, basically, with the footwork of Tyke Furlong. Anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts. Who would you have in? Who would you have out? Like I said, really good week in the Six Nations. Very competitive games. Lots of standout performers. By no means just these 15 guys. Plenty of others as well. You guys have any thoughts? Talk to you again soon. See you later.